Hey, this is the hardness test, and we're going to go over how to do that really quickly here. Basically, this is a scratch test, and we have a bunch of objects of different hardnesses. This is called Mohs hardness scale, and these are all of the minerals from 1 to 9. I don't have a diamond, but all the other ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And those are standards that you can use to test one against another. So the way you test a mineral is to try to scratch that mineral or to try to have that mineral scratch another mineral. So for example, mineral number 4 should scratch easily mineral number 2. So if I do this little test here, sure enough, you can see the little scratch that I put in there. So you just test them one against the other. Now that's great if you have that set of hardness minerals, but a lot of times we don't, so we use other objects. So for example, your fingernail is a hardness of about 2.2, somewhere around that. And so you can test to see if a particular mineral scratches your fingernail. Mineral number 7, quartz, easily scratches my fingernail, so that's because it's harder than 2.2. It's a lot harder. Going up the hardness scale, you can use a penny or any real piece of copper, and that's about 3.2 on the hardness scale. Then a glass plate right here is one of your main hardness implements. And again, I'll pick one that's a little bit harder here. And this is number 7, and you can see easily puts a scratch right in that plate. Now, if you don't have a glass plate, but you're out in the field, you can use a knife blade. That's also about 5.5 on the hardness scale. If you get a little bit harder than that, tool steel, like this steel file, is about 6.5, and that, of course, easily should scratch this. Not scratching it too good, but a little bit. And that's a good point. Yeah, sometimes you got to really put a little bit of hard work into it to make sure that it will scratch. Okay. If it doesn't scratch, like this number 1, there's no way that'll scratch. Oh, well, that looks like it put a scratch in there. But it didn't, because, as you can probably tell, you can rub that thing away completely off of the plate. So it really just powdered on the plate there. And so if you rubbed it hard enough, you'd be able to get that all gone. So that is an example of one that is softer. If it's just a little bit soft, you'll feel it glide on the surface. So it's just not going to scratch that at all. So you test them one against the other until you bracket the hardness. So maybe it's between the hardness of the streak plate and the glass plate. So you've got it narrowed down to between 5.5 and 7. The streak plate here is about 7 on the hardness scale. Now you have to be careful with the hardness test because you can easily be misled. First of all, if you don't push hard enough, you might not make your scratch, so that's a problem. Also, some minerals are just kind of crumbly, and so if you have one that is really just too crumbly, it just kind of falls apart. It may seem soft, but in reality, the individual grains might be quite hard. And some minerals come in a range of hardnesses. So you have to look at the chart and make sure that you're looking at the correct range there to see if it's the correct mineral. So that's the hardness test.